and you do have a bathroom you can find there. So take some cushions and head with you. All right, this is the one coming out of Lancaster County, pushing northward into parts of Northumberland County. So we'll be keeping an eye on this one. And these are the towns, again, small towns, most of you near water or a river, Coles Point especially, Acorn, and some of those folks. Take cover now. We do have a confirmed tornado coming out of Lancaster, the courthouse area. This was eventually, or earlier, it was in the Kilmarnock area. And this other one moving north, looks like near the Warsaw area in Richmond County. Let's go ahead and throw the velocity on that one. All right, with that, it's 6 o'clock. Tag team, let me know if you need me.
You're not off the hook, so don't go anywhere.
I'll see you.
Okay, so we've got 2 tornado warnings right now. The most significant circulation is this one in the northern neck. This is a tough storm right here. Right in here, this is an intense circulation with this storm. A tornado warning continues until 6:15. This is the one that's confirmed, and I can tell you just from looking at the velocities and seeing these things over many years, that is a significant circulation. You folks in the northern neck need to take your tornado safety precautions right now. Lowest level of your home, as Tom mentioned, there's not many basements out there, but you got to do whatever you can to get to the lowest level. And of course, we're in a flood situation as well, so that complicates matters. But if you're not in a flood zone and not in a flood prone area, get in that lowest level, put as many walls as you can between yourself and the outdoors. Because what we're looking at here, differential colors here indicating winds flowing toward the radar site and away from the radar site. Your circulation is going to be right in here. This is a very messy radar product to look at just casually from home, but it does tell us exactly what is going on in the storm, wiping away the rainfall and looking at the actual velocities between Lancaster and Burgess. That is your circulation right there. There's a highway, Lotsburg down to Burgess, and you can see the circulation. It looks like it's coming up straight toward Lotsburg. Let's put a lapse on that and show the motion of this, but it's developed down near Kilmarnock. It continues to move north and west. So again, this is not the traditional movement. All this is rotating around the tropical storm. So again, there's the storm right in here. That's the circulation. Take your tornado safety precautions, Burgess area, but particularly Lotsburg. It looks like you will be right in the crosshairs of this as it comes in. And it is moving at about 55 miles per hour. So you don't have much time at all. It's coming in right now, Lotsburg and then Kinsale. And if we could put a storm track on that, Francis, and just show people the time of arrival, you may have to back off because it's such a fast moving storm that this storm track is going to go for a little while. But we're looking at northwest movement here, 55 miles per hour. So that's going to be near Claraville at 6:03, then Bundick at 6:06, Callia at 6:08, Acorn 6:12, then Kremlin 6:14, Coles Point 6:22, so right there on the Potomac, Bryanttown 6:25, Breton Beach at 6:30. And again, what we're tracking right now are several tornado warnings and confirmed tornadoes in some cases embedded within a much broader flooding situation now from Tropical Storm Isaias. And you can see all the rainfall, not to ignore what's going on farther south. In fact, let's go real quickly. I want to show you the flash flood warnings that we have. The Richmond area, I tell you, driving in just a moment ago, an incredible amount of water on the roads, and you can see the flash flood warning. Petersburg, Chester, Richmond, this is a serious situation here in the Richmond area because we're in the throes of this thing and we have much more rain ahead of us. We've already had more than 2.5 inches and we're likely going to get another 2.5 inches before all is said and done. Another flash flood warning, Charles City area, and flash flood warning also crossing 360, so Mechanicsville Turnpike right on up, not too far away from Ashland. Again, we'll go back to the tornado warnings. Again, that is the primary concern, the primary life-threatening concern right now in the northern neck and the middle peninsula. We have 2 of these storms. We can look at the velocities again and pinpoint exactly where these circulations are. Again, I'm concerned for the folks in Lotsburg right now as that circulation continues to move in. And again, we're a long way from the radar site. The radar site that we use is down in Wakefield. And you can see that we're way out from there because the beam has a bit of a tilt. So the farther out you go from the radar site, the higher up you get off the ground. It's tough to resolve the low levels. That's just the nature of having radar sites spaced out 100 miles apart or more. And that is what we're seeing, though, is a strong circulation. It looks like a very broad, maybe a broad mesocyclone and possibly just a circulation there where the confirmed tornado might be right along Highway 201. This is just south of Heathsville. So Heathsville to Lotsburg, that is going to be in the main center line for the potential for a tornado as this storm continues to move very quickly off to the northwest at 55 miles per hour. Get everything rotating around Z-Isaias very, very quickly. The center of the circulation, you can see in the upper left-hand part of your screen, center of the circulation is just now crossing the Virginia, North Carolina line, and these bands of rain coming in are experiencing a change from the ocean to land, higher friction at the surface, and that's creating this wind shear for these tornadoes. Let's check out the rainfall, and let's just do a quick run through of where the heaviest rain is here across Virginia. Again, there's the one circulation there in Heathsville moving toward Lottsburg. And what we have in Richmond right now is heavy rain that's going to be getting heavier momentarily. Chester, Petersburg, Charles City area, all this is lifting to the north and back to the north and west. So again, it's an incredible amount here of rainfall. Now you look at this and you're like, well, you got yellows in there. I don't see much in the way of red. Trust me, this is tropical rainfall. It is coming down at an incredible rate. And at this point, there's nowhere for the water to go. So it's just going to run into the lowest areas, and there are areas that should not have water on the roads that I encountered on the way in here, and they have tons of water on the road, water shooting out either side, coming in just about 15-20 minutes ago. So there's just a lot of rainfall out there. It's coming down a lot heavier than these rates would indicate. All right, so let's go back over and check out the rain. So far, about 2.5 inches officially out at RIC, and we're going to add a lot more to that. We have the flash flood warning in effect for the Richmond area. Here's some of the rainfall totals here, and I bet this bullseye here is easily 2 inches, so almost 3 inches there. You've got this one out here as well. This is right along the York River, and that's probably about 4 inches at this point. And so we're seeing very, very high rainfall totals, and we're going to see these doubling and maybe tripling in some cases. You know, Petersburg only an inch and a half, but I bet there's a lot more than that once we get this thing updated. So a tremendous amount of rain's already fallen, and more's on the way. One thing I did not notice much of coming in was wind. The change from when I left the house to when I got to work was a little bit noticeable with a few more wind gusts coming in, but the wind is coming. In some areas it's strong already over to our east, but we've not seen much here across the 95 corridor, and that is an element of this that will be changing. It's 6 o'clock right now. I'd say by 8 o'clock we're going to start to notice that wind, maybe hear that wind here in the studio. All right, let's go back over to the tornado warnings that we have. There's two of them here, one in the Middle Peninsula and one in the Northern Neck.
Oh,
now we have a third.
Additional.
All right, so this is Reedville. Let's check out what we've got. Reedville area, so Northern Neck, and this is what we'll see. We're seeing these rain bands coming off of the Chesapeake onto land. So you've got relatively frictionless surface coming across the water and up in the air as well. But when the bottom part of that wind hits land, it slows down while the winds across the top keep going, and it creates these horizontal rolls of vorticity, and whenever you get a storm in there, you can get a tornado, and that's what we're seeing right in here. Let's check out the Velocities. Tornado warning for Northumberland County, particularly the Reedville area, and that's it. Take those tornado safety precautions right now in Reedville. This looks like it could be yet another tornado on the ground down there. The wind velocities here, again, what we're seeing are 60 mile per hour plus in one direction. The other direction is going to be an opposite wind. So we've got a good circulation right in here, right over Reedville, a likelihood of a developing tornado in Reedville and also one in Heathsville heading up toward Lottsburg. So that's two tornadoes in Northumberland and Lancaster counties. People need to take the tornado safety precautions right now. This is a serious situation, folks, with a couple different tornadoes and good circulations with these as well. These are not just little things that are spinning up and going away. It looks like we may have longer lived little supercell structures. Again, you look in here, you don't see any lightning, you don't see a classic hook echo or anything like that. But again, right around Reedville, right around Heathsville, both of these are legitimate circulations, and this is very classic for a tropical system to have these bands coming on from water to land and have these circulations. So tornado warning 6:15 for Northumberland and Richmond County, not the city of Richmond, Richmond County. So that's going to be in the Northern Neck, and also in the Northern Neck we've got the tornado warning down here for Northumberland County. So there's two different ones in the Northern Neck, and then we have the one here again, that's near Montrose. That's Essex, Richmond, Westmoreland. Three separate tornado warnings in the Northern Neck right now. Take those tornado safety precautions. These go for another about 35 minutes in most areas. So let's check out this one here, if we can, just south of Montrose. And there is the circulation. So take your tornado safety precautions if you live in Montrose. And again, we're out in the Northern Neck right now. There would be the circulation right in here, just south of Montrose by about 3 miles. and this continues to track to the north and west. And what are we still at 55 miles per hour?
This one is at 45.
45 miles per hour. So 45, occasionally 55 miles per hour, all this rotating around Z-Isaias, the center of which is still crossing the North Carolina-Virginia line. There have been tens of thousands of power outages down in North Carolina. I do expect a similar situation for the Virginia area. We haven't seen many yet. Last check, there were only about 4 for the Richmond area.
So there's 9,000 for the Richmond Metro, 4,000 out in Chesterfield alone, and close to 2,600 in Powhatan.
Okay, 9,000. So that number's doubled in Richmond over the past 10 minutes. The number will continue to climb. That's normal for this type of situation. You got a lot of heavy rainfall, and now adding a little bit of wind. Everything's kind of heavy out there now. The wind's going to start to bring things into power lines, maybe bring some trees down, bring some limbs down as well. So again, circulations here that we're tracking, several different tornado warnings. We've got one just south of Montrose by a few miles. Let's go back over and check out the one over Reedville. That's the newest one that's just developed. That's going to be Reedville area, Burgess and Ophelia. You need to take your tornado safety precautions in that area as well. And then we've got this one out near Lottsburg. So just south and east of Lottsburg, just north of Reedville, and then just south of Montrose. 3 different tornadic circulations right now, all in the northern neck. So we got one over Reedville, one near Lottsburg, and one just south of Montrose. You need to take your tornado safety precautions. It's tough out there if you don't have a basement. Many areas don't have basements. You just need to get in the interior part of your home. That's the best you can do right now. Put as many walls as you can between yourself and the outside and just ride this thing out. If you have a phone, you can stream our coverage on there and just listen. We'll let you know when the coast is clear. And this will be ongoing, at least the tornado threat, for a little bit longer as these bands of rain continue to move on in and pose a tornadic risk. Again, south of Montrose, south and east of Montrose by about 3 miles. And then we've got the circulation near Lottsburg. Right over Lottsburg, headed for Kinsale. Again, this is the Potomac River right in here. So it's right along the coast, Lottsburg, Kinsale, and up toward Coles Point. You need to take those tornado safety precautions right now. And getting a storm track on that thing. So we're looking at Acorn 615, Coles Point at 624. So Coles Point 624, current time is 611. So got about 10, 15 minutes at most. 15 minutes at most for you folks in Coles Point, and it's essentially in Kinsale right now. All right, you can see the radar there, upper left-hand corner, center of circulation of Z-Isaias is just now moving across the North Carolina-Virginia line. And you can see the rain that we've got in the Richmond area. If you're just waking up with us, we've already had a tremendous amount of rainfall. And if we could take a zoom about right in here just to show this area. There we go. So we've got heavy rainfall out near Hopewell. So Hopewell, Chester into Richmond. This is just a constant heavy rain that continues to come in. It's a tropical rainfall. Tons of water out there right now with nowhere for it to go. So these boxes here, these green boxes, they indicate flash flood warnings. We've got the one from Petersburg through Chester up into Richmond. Also have one to our east. This one is going to include Interstate 64, so you could really just extend this on over. There's not going to be a difference in this little gap right here. These whole areas here, flash flood warning. It extends also up north and east of 295, so we're looking into Hanover County and into King William County as well. Flash flood warnings. Best advice really with flash flood warnings, unless you have to evacuate your home, you're in an area where the water's rising, you have to get to higher ground. The best advice aside from that is just to stay at home and just let this thing move on through. If you don't have to go to work, I think this is a good morning to say, I think I'm going to take a pass and move in maybe about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when all this is gone. We've been working from home for a while with the pandemic. This would be a good day to put that into action and not get out on the road. There's no reason to drive around and check things out and put yourself in danger because there's going to be a lot of water out there. I do expect road closures. Another flash flood warning all the way down. This is going to be down Interstate 64. So essentially everywhere along 64 from Short Pump, just about Short Pump, all the way down to past Williamsburg in a flash flood warning. So we have the flash flood warnings, we have the tornado warnings as well. Those are up in the northern neck, so let's go back to the tornado warnings. And we've got 3 of them right now. We've got the circulation that's now near Burgess. It's moved through Reedville. It's now near Burgess. So let's check out the velocities on that one, then we'll work our way up the line. So here we are near Burgess. Tornado warning continues out toward Burgess and Ophelia. All right, and then back to the north and west, we've got the storm near Lottsburg, Louisetta, and Kinsale. You need to take your tornado safety precautions out there as well. Again, all these are moving back to the north and west. Again, they're rotating around the center of circulation. And then we have the other circulation that's out near Montrose. So again, take your tornado safety precautions out near Montrose as well. Folks up in Colonial Beach, you're well down the line, but with the movement of these things as quick as they are, they will be on you in no time at all. So take your tornado safety precautions as you head up toward the Colonial Beach area as well. So again, we're looking out in the northern neck. This is the Montrose area, and we have tornadoes also indicated down near Reedville and also near Louisetta. So again, Montrose, Louisetta, Lotsburg area, and then down toward Reedville and Burgess. And again, there's the circulation there. It's a little bit north of Reedville. 3 separate tornado warnings. When you look at the intensities here, you just do not see anything that jumps out at you as a tornadic potential. These are the velocities. The intensities will show you something a little bit different. It's just the heavy rainfall. And looking at the heavy rainfall, it's just a big area of just real heavy rain, north of Burgess, north of Lotsburg, and then also out near Montrose. But this is similar to what we had with the tornado outbreak on September 17th, where these things moved through the Richmond area, and there was never really an indication there, just from looking at the structure on the intensities, that there was anything going on. But the wind definitely told you what was happening. That's why we look at the other presentation. Even though it's not as pretty as this, and we're not used to seeing this, this is what will show us where the winds are on the velocities. That'll show us where we're looking at the circulation. So again, down near Burgess, there may be another one developing here back behind it. So we had the original circulation that's moved north and moved through Ophelia. It looks like we've got a new circulation just off of the coast, and there might be an update on that. Tom, if you see an update on this tornado warning out in Northumberland County, just keep your eye on that if they update what's going on, because there's another circulation right in here. We had the one moved in Reedville and moved north of the area. It looks like we've got another developing circulation just off the coast heading up toward Ophelia. So everybody in here needs to take the tornado safety precautions. Wouldn't change a thing of what you're doing right now to stay safe. But again, I think we had the one coming through Reedville earlier that's moved north, and now we have a new developing circulation just on the coast there, right on the Chesapeake Bay, just north of Reedville. All right, let's check out the other storms. We've got the circulation near Montrose. That tornado warning continues as well. And then the other circulation, have we lost that warning? Or
Yes, it expired at 6:15.
Okay, 6:15. So we lost one. We got 2 now. 2 tornado warnings right now. We've got the one here just south of Montrose, and we've got the one also out north of Reedville. But I tell you, it looks like there may be another circulation over here just to the east of Ophelia. But the other one moved from Reedville to Burgess and is farther north now, accelerating very quickly off to the north and west at about 55 miles per hour. So lots going on, a lot of spin in the atmosphere from these rain bands coming in off of the water onto land. A very normal thing to see, but we've just seen a lot of it out here in the northern neck. A busy morning for you folks out that way. Let's check out the rainfall once again and kind of look at the broad view of the circulation of the center of Z-Isaias and see how these rain bands continue to work their way in. Notice this void of rainfall, Emporia to Norfolk down Route 58 through Cortland. That is the center of Z-Isaias. And you can see everything kind of rotating around that. We are still getting these very, very heavy rain bands on the northern end of that rain-free center at this time. And there it is. So there's the circulation, probably going to be over the Great Dismal Swamp. Right there on the Virginia-North Carolina line, and it continues to lift to the north. Tremendous amounts of rain are going to be moving into the Middle Peninsula. It's happening now, and the Northern Neck, and we still have a lot of rainfall here in the Richmond area. Still probably, I'd say, another 2 hours of just very heavy rainfall here in town, and then it's going to let up. It's 6:18 right now. I say by about 8 o'clock, things are going to begin to wind down for us. It's going to be a rough 2 hours, though, as not only are we going to have the wind, or the rain, but we're also going to add some wind to that. So far, there has not been much in the way of wind around the Richmond area. I do expect that, though, to change. And if we could cue up the current winds at some point, don't have to do it right this moment, but just have that ready at some point so we can check the winds and see what's going on with this, where the strongest winds are. Okay, so right now we've got wind gusts of 40 miles per hour in Petersburg, 49 Norfolk, 35 out in Kilmarnock, and notice back here there are either no wind gusts or very light wind gusts. So this is not a mistake that there's nothing in here. That's just the automated sensor not indicating that there's a gust out that way. So again, Richmond's up to 29 miles per hour on the wind gusts, so we're getting there. 40 down in Petersburg. And again, down here, when you look at this, this is not only the numbers themselves and the streamlines, but you also have the colors. The color down here, that coming across the line, that's probably gusts 55 or more. That area is going to move north. That will miss the Richmond area. It will move to our east, the northern neck and middle peninsula. So you got that coming your way over the next couple of hours. For us, we will still have some strong wind gusts that have not gotten here yet. But as of right now, it looks like the worst of it will certainly be east, and that was expected. Let's go back over to the radar and check out what we've got with the tornado warnings up in the northern neck. 2 of them now. The one that's just along the coast, this one here is now a little bit north of Reedville. We've got a tornado warning for Northumberland County until 6:45. That's one out here. That's the one near Montrose. And that is continuing to lift to the north. So the circulation, just based on this presentation, is going to be just a little west of Montrose. But we can look at, let's see, that's until 6:30, Essex, Richmond, Westmoreland. And this one down here near Reedville is probably going to be till 6:45. It is till 6:45, and that's going to be right in here. And let's check that circulation. It looks like it may be just south and east of Louisetta. Boy, it's tough to see this far out from the radar site, but it's in here. It's right in there somewhere where we go from Louisetta down to Ophelia. Everybody just needs to take the tornado safety precautions. And you can see the circulation, there's one up here, Westmoreland to Kinsale, and that is actually not in a tornado warning area. It's moved out of the polygon, but that's a significant circulation there over Kinsale and Westmoreland. So the area here that we were tracking, it's moved north and west pretty quickly. We have circulation around Westmoreland and Kinsale, and then we have the one out toward Montrose. The 3 separate circulations right now, they're 2 warnings, but 3 separate circulations. It's like we have one just a little bit north and east of Route 17 there, just west of Montrose. Looks like there might be a circulation in that area. Again, tornado warnings continuing. And have we gotten any reports? We have the NWS chat up for any confirmed reports of a tornado?
We had a visual in Kilmarnock earlier.
And one near Lancaster as well.
Okay.
So courthouse.
Gotcha. Lancaster and Kilmarnock. Okay, so a couple confirmed.
Much earlier down in Surrey.
Okay, Surrey.
And then
Okay.
at
Claremont.
6:04, we had a confirmed tornado near Heathsville.
Okay, that was 6:04, so that was 15 minutes ago. That was the one that has moved north and west, but moved right through Heathsville. Okay, how about as far as damage goes? Any damage coming in from any of these tornadoes?
It'd be too early. It's still
Yes.
dark.
Yeah.
Actually,
we get some?
We actually have Gabby, one of our reporters, has a live picture at Magnolia and Reedy Street in Richmond. A car is in water.
Okay.
Crews are currently working to rescue.
Okay, so a water rescue going on. Gabrielle Harmon, our reporter, giving us that indication. And that's what's going to happen if you go out and hit the roads this morning. It's just not, I understand that there's some people that just feel that they cannot stay at home. They have to go somewhere, and that decision is all your own there. But I just got to tell you, from a weather standpoint, you need to just drop anchor, stay at home. This is the situation that I would expect most bosses to understand. I know the show must go on. Obviously, we're here. We have to do this. But if there's any way that you can just stay at home just for a few more hours, that is what you need to do, because you get out on these roads, several bad things could happen. You might make it just fine, and probably will, but trees can come down. There's tons of water. Your car can go floating down the road. It doesn't take much water to float a car, only about a foot, and there's plenty of water out there. So just keep that in mind and just try to make the best decision if you are able to. I know that's not an option for everyone. All right, looking at what we've got out there right now, lots of flash flood warnings. And in fact, all of the Richmond area and areas north and east and due east are under flash flood warnings. And really the only area not is back to the west. So Goochland, Powhatan, Amelia, it's more of a light to moderate rainfall, not as much as what we're seeing here down the 95 corridor, certainly not as much as what we're getting in Charles City right now, which is just a torrential rainfall. And all that's lifting north. So West Point, Gloucester, Williamsburg, up towards Saluda and Urbana, all this lifting to the north. And again, down toward Wakefield, still rain coming in. You got a little bit of a lighter area there right around the radar site. Some of that's due to just being around the radar site. But farther south you go, you get into the center of Z-Isaias, and that is where we just don't have any rain around that center of circulation. So again, heavy rainfall bands continue to come into the area, moving back to the north and west. And while it looks like it may be letting up in some areas, we still have plenty of heavy rainfall ahead of us here. All right, up into the northern neck, let's check out our tornado warnings again. We've got one in southern Maryland. That's southern Maryland. That's not Virginia. So we'll check out the one we've got here. This one blew through the Reedville and Heathsville area. It's up across the Potomac River now. So there could be, again, a second circulation. If we can go back down to that tornado warning again, we had one come up across here. So let's look at the velocities real quick and see if there's anything in here. There was the circulation up in here. There could be down in there. But these things are moving so quickly. You issue a tornado warning for 30 minutes and the storm, they're flying. In 30 minutes, it'll move 30 miles if it's going 60 miles an hour. And some of these are almost going 60 miles an hour, 55 miles per hour. So, 30 miles in the northern neck, that's a big stretch here. So they're moving along very, very quickly. I see a circulation right along the coast here, right along the shore, just north of Kinsale, moving up toward Coles Point. So again, that's Westmoreland County. This is Northumberland County. Then we get into Westmoreland County up here. County line right in here. There's the circulation headed toward Coles Point. And again, that's an area that's actually not in a tornado warning at the moment, but that is a circulation. And there's also one up at Montross, north and west of Montross, what it looks like now. We will see if that's exactly where that is, but at this moment, I would say anywhere still near Montross and up to the north toward Colonial Beach, you need to take your tornado safety precautions as these tornadoes could develop at any time. They may not be on the ground the whole time. They may not be on the ground at all sometimes. Maybe just Doppler radar indicated, but we have had several confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, and that's alarming, especially when you're seeing these things at night. Folks are seeing these at night. And what you get with these tropical systems, or what you don't get, are lightning strikes. You don't get much lightning at all. Lightning is typically the indicator of tornadoes because it gives you light at night and you can see the lightning flashes. You can see a tornado on the ground. So these folks that saw these tornadoes must have been very, very close to them to be able to see them without lightning. There's very few lightning strikes in this whole area of rainfall in Virginia. All right, so we've got a time of arrival here for this storm, this circulation. Colonial Beach at 6:29, time right now 6:26. And over toward Chestnut Hills, 6:35, Dahlgren at 6:37. And then after that, we're talking about way up into parts of Stafford County and getting up toward the 95 corridor, heading up into southern sections of the D.C. area. So that storm continues to have a tornado warning on it. And we've got this tornado warning has been allowed to expire. So that one is gone. I still think there's something in here, the circulation north of Kinsale. The only other tornado warning we have is this Montross area, and that is lifting up toward Colonial Beach. So you folks out that way, we're down to one tornado warning at this time in the northern neck, and it is for Westmoreland County. Stay alert right along Route 3 as this is heading up toward Colonial Beach, and it is now west of the Montross area. Any reports of any damage coming in?
We've got some trees right now. That's
Trees
what we've
down?
got.
Trees, and actually I have a viewer post that a tornado touched down near
Oak Run, Whitestone.
Oak Run. Yes.
Whitestone, okay. All right, so Whitestone, again.
And a 7-Eleven was damaged. Cortland 7-Eleven was damaged on Route 58. Looks like siding was wrapped around some of the gas station.
Okay, so Cortland is going to be along Route 58 between Emporia and Suffolk, way down there. So that was the first one. There was an indication of a confirmed tornado. The Whitestone is down here. Whitestone is down in Lancaster County, and that is in the northern neck, very end of the northern neck, right there on the water. So potential tornado or confirmed tornado is what we're getting from a viewer in the Whitestone area, right down here south of Kilmarnock. Okay, and that's likely a legitimate report because that's the circulation that was over Kilmarnock. That was an intense circulation. That was at about 6:46, where there was an intense circulation over Kilmarnock, and it come right across Whitestone. So we'll have to see once light dawns on everything. It's 6:30, so we're probably getting some light out there right now. But it's likely that we had a tornado that either was on the ground the whole time or just at times moved through Whitestone and Kilmarnock, then up toward Lancaster. This area, just based on the Doppler velocities and the confirmed reports we're getting, would indicate that. that. We'll have to go see what we've got out there in terms of damage. All right, as far as rainfall goes in the northern neck, you folks are getting a little bit of a breather. It's still raining, but it's nothing like what's going on farther south. All of that is headed your way, but heavy rainfall, Urbana, Saluda, Christchurch, all the way back down toward West Point. That includes Shacklefords and Glens, all the way out to heavy rainfall. Probably the heaviest rain that we've got around the region is in Charles City, and that continues to lift to the north and a little bit back to the north and west. So this is going to be continuing to hit the east sides of the Richmond area the heaviest. And right now you can still hear the rainfall here at the station. It's not quite as intense as it was about a half hour ago, but it's still coming down. And again, we're going to be right up in here about the H in Richmond where the station is right now. So it's heavier across south side Richmond, down toward 288 Hull Street, Midlothian Turnpike, Powhite, everything south and west out of town, heavier rainfall down that way. And then as you get down toward Petersburg, once you head out of Petersburg west down 460, it gets heavier. But again, the most intense rainfall at this time is going to be from 295 in the east end of town, down Interstate 64, down Williamsburg Road, Charles City Road, and then up Mechanicsville Turnpike, as well as up 301. So 201 out toward Highway 301, you can see the heavy rainfall heading up toward Bowling Green. Drops off a bit once you get past Doswell, but a tremendous amount of rainfall continues to move through the area. Let's put this into a loop and just look at all this rain coming on in. And again, this area from Charles City up toward Alet, that is a ton of rainfall, high rainfall rates. That is wrapping back around north sides of Richmond up toward Ashland. So that's going to be coming in and dumping a lot of rainfall. I would expect just that area alone would result in 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of rainfall in these areas just north and east of Richmond as this continues to come on into the area. And we're at 6:30 right now, so we still have, I'd say, another 2 hours of this. By 8 o'clock, the center should be about the latitude of Richmond. So the center will be there. Your heaviest rain will be north. So another hour and a half or so, maybe 2 hours of the heaviest rainfall before things settle down. Do we have a total? Let's see.
Tornado warnings are done right now. I don't know if you guys want to just stay with us.
Oh, so yeah.
So Tom's mic's on. Do not go to the restroom right now. But hit Tom's mic's on.
Let me see.
So all the tornado warnings have been expired.
Okay. Yes, we heard that.
Okay.
Fortunately, that's all we heard. All right, let's check out what we've got as far as rainfall goes. Just south and east of Richmond, you got a bullseye down here. That's going to be, looks like Osborne. Oh, not Osborne, but so that's 3.1 inches, 2.6 inches. Gloucester area, that's probably a good 4 there. There it is, 4 inches there. Kilmarnock, same thing, north of Kilmarnock. You got some real heavy rainfall up that way. So the totals are coming in and starting to climb up. We've reached that 3 to 6 range in many areas of rainfall. Not as much Gooch and Powhatan, Amelia, definitely more just south and east of Richmond coming through RIC. Tom, what was the last hourly, the 6 a.m., just the hourly rainfall, what we got in 1 hour? Because these hourly rainfall totals here out at RIC, I would imagine we're getting anywhere from 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, if not a little bit more, in 1 hour's time. But the rain coming in right now, it's a blinding rain. Even with the sun coming up right now, it's going to be very difficult to see as the rain continues to come down at a very, very heavy rainfall rate. I'm looking at the circulation of Z-Isaias, and you can see that in the upper left-hand corner of your TV set there. It looks like the center is going to be between Emporia and Williamsburg shortly. It's just east of Emporia right now, and that center of circulation will continue to move to the north and east. And it still has a tropical storm wind with it, 70 miles per hour, the sustained winds. And look at that movement, north-northeast at 28 miles per hour. And when we get another update on this thing, it's going to be even faster than that. So you have such fast forward motion. That's why this thing's been able to maintain its strength well inland. Typically, a tropical storm would wind down a little faster than that, or a hurricane would wind down a little faster than that. But this thing hasn't dropped off much at all. And look at this, still a tropical storm in central sections of New Jersey. So, and the speed on this thing, and look at this, it's not just a minimal tropical storm, 65 mile per hour winds at that time, and it's going to be up in Boston before the sun sets. So this absolutely flying and taking just a tremendous amount of heat and moisture with it as it heads all the way up into Canada, being Canada tomorrow morning. All right, so let's go back and see what we've got here in the Richmond area. We'll get an update on Z-Isaias coming up. The 8 o'clock update will be coming out here in an hour and a half. And you see these bands here that have come in. Those are what triggered the tornado warnings. We've got more, and this rainfall is actually just kind of swinging up from the south, so the tornado threat should not be as high with those bands coming in. Do they ever issue a tornado watch for us?
We do have a, not exactly for the city of Richmond.
Oh, okay, there we go. So there's the tornado watch, and that's until noon. That'll be allowed to expire before noon, but they've issued that until noon. And again, I think that the greatest threat for tornadoes it may be behind us at this point with those bands that were coming in off the water. Now we've got bands that are just kind of lifting north. Still a threat for tornadoes, no question about it. And again, they issue these things with a very broad window of time. The threat will be over before noon, but that is what the alert is right now for that area. So this goes as close to the Richmond area as King William and New Kent and Charles City counties, and then it's just all of the northern neck, all of the Middle Peninsula, and a little bit of the Virginia Peninsula. Okay, so we got power outage update coming our way.
10,000 are out in the Richmond Metro, specifically 2,000 are out in Chesterfield, 2,300 are out in Dinwiddie, and 2,600 are out in Powhatan.
Okay, all right, so Richmond area, 10,000 without power, and that could be a tree. Honestly, you get so many high population density. We get one transformer knocked out, you're going to lose power to a ton of people, especially if it's from these some of these more packed communities like Brandermill, somewhere like that, out in the Short Pump area, and right here in town, we've just got a high population density. Those numbers are going to climb. It'll more than double or triple as the winds really start to pick up across the area. Let's go to radar here and check out what we've got as far as rainfall goes. And you can see the rain heaviest just a little bit east of town at this time, and that is where the heaviest rainfall is going to be over the next half hour or so. It's going to be just east of Richmond, just north of Richmond as well. And as far as any tornadic threat at this time, there are no tornado warnings at all at this moment. No tornado warnings currently. We've had several of those. In fact, just 30 minutes ago, there were 3 of them all at the same time, but no issues with any intense circulations at this moment. Just a lot of strong winds coming in. All right, let's check out what we've got on radar, and we'll look at it once again. The green polygons indicate areas where we have just a tremendous amount of rain that has already fallen and it continues to fall. That's flash flood warning. So Richmond area, Chester, Petersburg, as well as Charles City, and then farther north up into parts of New Kent County. Again, essentially everywhere from Petersburg to Richmond and then east, all the way over to not quite Williamsburg, but we'll see definitely through Charles City and over past the West Point exit. So it's going to be the Highway 33 exit, exit 220, down Interstate 64, then farther north and east, a tremendous amount of rainfall up 360 as well. We've got a storm rider out there. You can see there on the left side of your screen, so plenty of light out there now to see what's going on. There have been some high water reports and a high water rescue. We're going to get Andrew Smith as well. He's our storm chaser. We're going to get him on and talk to him. He's out checking out how things are going here as Z-Isaias continues to bring this heavy rainfall and wind in some cases to the area. So far, there's not been a ton of wind in the Richmond area. It has all been over to our east, and it's southeast right now, working its way north, but the main area of wind will miss the Richmond area. We'll still get some wind from this, but the main area, and that was what was expected, is that it would be over to our east and not right through the 95 corridor. The heavy rain has definitely been here in Richmond, but it's beginning to let up at this time. Notice we've got heaviest rainfall are now out toward 295 east end of town, a little band out west as well, but damage has been done in terms of the heavy rainfall here with the flash flood warning being issued because of tremendous amounts of rain in a very short period of time, well over probably 3 inches at this point. It was 2.5 inches prior to 6 o'clock, but I think the 6 o'clock hourly came in, probably over 3 inches at this point in the Richmond area officially, with a lot of rainfall out in the northern neck and middle peninsula coming in as this rainfall continues to move to
Suffolk, though. City of Suffolk, multiple homes, so down where that energy is. City of Suffolk, multiple homes damaged.
Multiple homes damaged.
Yeah.
Okay, multiple
Suffolk.
homes damaged in the Suffolk area.
Suffolk.
So Suffolk, again, we're looking south. We had a report out of Cortland. So Cortland to Suffolk, that area down there where we had the tornado warning very early this morning. Tom, was that at 4 a.m.?
Gosh, like 2:30, 2:45,
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
2:30.
Oh, okay. very early this morning, the first tornado warning that we had down in the Suffolk area. So lots of homes damaged down there. Unfortunately, that's not a good report to hear, and we may be hearing some similar damage reports, hopefully not multiple homes, but we may hear some damage coming in out of the northern neck as well from these storms that moved through there just within the past hour and had very strong circulations and some confirmed reports of tornadoes in the area. At one point, it looked like we had about 3 at one time up there from bands of rain that continue to move out across the water. Can we put that in motion and show this rainfall moving across the area? And again, you can see where some of the heaviest rainfall is and where it's not, and where it's not is down south. That's where the circulation is, the center of the circulation, or the eye in this case of Z-Isaias. And you can see this wrapping in right here, this little back edge of that. So really the center is just about over Wakefield. You can see the radar site right in there. That's the radar site. And that's where the center of circulation is right now. And it's going to be lifting right up over Gloucester here shortly in Williamsburg. So that is, it's right on track from where it looked like it would be. We've got this back edge of this starting to fill in with some more rainfall. That'll be the back edge of what we get in Richmond and down toward Petersburg. You get the back edge of it coming through Emporia right now. But the heaviest rain is going to be the Richmond area, southeast, all the way due east out toward West Point and heading up into the northern neck. So you can see another band of very heavy rainfall. Had a little lull in the northern neck, and now those rainfall rates are really picking up. Again, here's Middlesex County. Heavy rainfall every part of Middlesex County right now. King and Queen County, very heavy rainfall. Gloucester County, heavy rainfall. King William County, New Kent County, all just getting hammered with the rainfall at this time. No tornado warnings right now, just flash flood warnings, which we expect both of them. But the tornado threat is starting to diminish a little bit just based on the bands coming in off the water. This is a little bit of a concern watching this one here coming up toward Gloucester. That's coming off the water. So we can see if there's a circulation with that one. Nothing in there right now. So this is Mob Jack Bay. There's Susan. There's Gloucester. Don't see anything in there. Not right now. So that's good.
4.4 inches of rain, 3 Chopped and Parham. 4.4.
4.4. 3 Chopped and Parham Road. 4.4 inches of rainfall out there. So that is that's essentially right there at the mall. So close enough at least. Regency Mall area, 4.4 inches of rain. The new Wawa. Brand new Wawa. If you live out there, you know where that is. 4.4 inches of rainfall. So that's impressive stuff. All right, so I expect more totals like that coming out of the Richmond area here. And again, you see where Richmond is. You see the greens. That's lighter rainfall. It's east of here is where we're seeing the heaviest bands of rain right now. And it is unreal how heavy this is. From Mechanicsville up to Aylitz, that Route 360 is just, it's going to be underwater in some cases. And same story as you take Tappahannock down Route 17 all the way towards Saluda. And as you take Route 30 out of Doswell and come all the way down, crossing 360, Central Garage area, and come all the way down into West Point. Very, very dangerous roads to be on this morning with all of the heavy rainfall. And you know your roads out there as well. In the Northern Neck Middle Peninsula, you know where to avoid, you know the roads that are going to be underwater, but there may be some situations here where you may never have seen these roads underwater before, and they may be underwater because that water could be coming from somewhere else. Creeks are rising. We're likely seeing some of that spreading across roads that maybe typically would not be flooded. So you got to be really careful out there, and best advice is just stay at home, let this thing come on through. It's not going to last all day long. We've only got a couple more hours of this, and then everything will settle down for us. We'll still have a little bit of wind, but this will all kind of end quickly as the storm is racing. Last update on this is that Z-Isaias had winds of 70 miles per hour, and it was moving north-northeast at 28. So that is a really fast rate of speed, which happens when these storms come inland, but this is merging with a storm system coming across the mid-Atlantic, and that's allowing it to accelerate. So there is the circulation. That was the circulation in the last update. It's now in Virginia. So the center of it is up in here now. It's moving north-northeast at 28 miles per hour. And the pressure is gradually coming up, but it has maintained a lot of strength moving inland. And again, that circulation is going to be right here, very close to Cortland, the center of circulation near Cortland. I'm hearing wind now Either that or it's our air conditionings here at the studio, but I think it's a little bit more wind. There's a very thin box that we are in here, so you hear it. You've got a very good sense of what is going on here in the studio. In fact, when the wind really starts going, the lights begin to sway a little bit. Not very concerning, but that's what happens. All right, 39-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the Richmond area. That is the latest update. 45 miles per hour in Williamsburg and 53 miles per hour in Norfolk, and stronger winds moving into Norfolk right now from the south. So that is an area of concern. Hampton Roads area, very strong winds coming in, and you can see where the circulation is right now. It's near Emporia. So it's right on it's in Virginia, but right along the North Carolina line. And that circulation continues to head north and east. So it may go right up over about West Point or Williamsburg and head up in the Northern Neck and Middle Peninsula. So the winds will be getting stronger in the Northern Neck and Middle Peninsula here over the next few hours. Let's check out radar again, see what we've got as far as the rain goes. And heaviest rain continues just east of town. Not quite as heavy once you go out west of here through parts of Goochland and Powhatan down into Amelia County. It's still plenty of rainfall, still flooding because there's nowhere for the water to go at this point. The ground is saturated, so even light rain, persistent light rain, if it can't evaporate, which it's not doing, as humid as it is out there, it's going to contribute to the flooding problem. Back edge of the rain, you notice here, back west of Charlottesville, west of Farmville, it's moving. It's a noticeable movement here to the north and east. So as this thing goes, it is going to just take all of this moisture with it. And we continue with the rain, and maybe the heaviest rain here in Richmond has come to an end, and we're still seeing some measure of rainfall, but it's not quite as heavy as it was maybe an hour ago.
It's windy outside.
Okay, so Tom says it's windy. It is windy outside. So the wind's beginning to crank up, and what we will likely see is stronger winds picking up now, continuing for 2 to 3 hours before they start to come down again. As this storm picks up and moves to the north and east, we may have a wraparound stronger wind, something called a sting jet, which might occur with this storm system. And it's just sort of like a backlash wind as this thing jumps to the north and east and accelerates. You see that a lot of times when storm system, a tropical system, or just a regular old area of low pressure, coastal low, interacts with a storm system coming across the country, and mid-latitude cyclone develops rapidly, and then you end up getting this sting jet. That's a possibility, so we could get that last punch of really strong winds coming out of more of the west, southwest, as this thing is lifting up out of the area. So that'd be something to look out for. And that configuration was kind of noted yesterday in some of the model data. Heaviest rainfall right now is going to be east of town. So we're looking at the Richmond area up Mechanicsville Turnpike toward Aylett, and also out Williamsburg Road, out Interstate 64. We have a new tornado. Is that the watch? That's the watch. Okay, tornado watch here just popped on. No warnings, but the watch continues. 301 area, heavy rainfall up that way as well. So the worst areas of rainfall at this time are going to be New Kent County up into southeastern sections of Hanover County, all of King William County, all of King and Queen County, and really for all intents and purposes, pretty much the entire Middle Peninsula. So we're looking at Middlesex County, Essex County, and then up toward Richmond County, Lancaster County as well. All that rain will be lifting up into the northern neck. So it's been a busy morning for the folks up that way with the tornado warnings. Now we're going to contend with likely some flooding as this rain just gets heavier and heavier. This area has been hit hard, West Point to Saluda and down toward Charles City, with tremendous amounts of rainfall. So again, the rainfall rates here in Richmond, they're dropping off just a little bit. We still have some banding here, have some heavier showers right through here, but the heaviest rainfall is moving over to the east. And you can see these are rainfall rates that we're looking at, but the actual rainfall itself, you could tell that it was getting less. And again, this is tropical rain. I do think it's heavier than what you would see there. But again, all of this that you're seeing east and northeast of Richmond is a tremendous amount of just blinding rainfall. It's just it's rain that your wipers just cannot keep up with when you're out there. It's pretty incredible stuff. And looking at these bands of rain, again, just west of Richmond, you got one there, and also farther west, once you get out toward Amelia, heavier rainfall. And that's the case as well up Staples Mill Road, out north of west of Short Pump, toward Oilville, Rockville. You get a little bit of heavier rainfall out that way as these bands continue to move in. The whole system moving north-northeast. So again, eventually all of this is going to be moving out. And when I say eventually, I'm talking about over about the next 2 to 3 hours. It's not going to be an all-day event. Any tornado warnings we have are way up in Maryland, at St. Mary's, Maryland. So that's way up there. And again, you can see the center of circulation now. It is right in here. So it's probably right over Cortland. So right in here. That's the center of circulation, and it looks like it may move, let's see, yep, right in there. So it's right in here, right over the radar site, really, in Wakefield, just right in this area here, coming up over Gloucester. And again, it's accelerating too. When we get the update coming up at 8 o'clock, it's likely that this thing will be moving 32 miles per hour, maybe even faster than that. I'd say 32 miles per hour on this thing as it heads up. Again, it is going to move across probably the far eastern sides of the Middle Peninsula. It may move just a little bit over the Chesapeake, just a little bit to the east of the northern neck. It'll come awfully close, but it won't really result in that much different weather in that area. You're still going to get the heavy rainfall and lots of wind as well. Strongest winds, again, right now, Norfolk not getting any rain, but they're definitely getting the wind here on the southeast side of the center of circulation. That's where the strongest winds are right now, which is typical for a hurricane or a tropical storm. And seeing the winds that continue here, or the rain that continues here across the Richmond area, and the flash flood warnings that we have, it's Richmond down to Petersburg, to the east sides of town as you head out Williamsburg Road and head out 64, Charles City area, on up toward West Point. These are flash flood warnings, and they extend all the way back up across Mechanicsville Turnpike up toward Ashland. So just a very broad area with flash flood warnings that remain in effect. Tom gave us a report a moment ago, 4.4 inches of rainfall measured at Three Chop and Parham Road. So Three Top and Parham Road, a measurement of 4.4 inches of rain. Then that occurred in a fairly, well, it could have started last night and lasted in this morning, but most of it occurred in a fairly short period of time as this rain has just been coming down just in buckets. Again, heaviest rainfall right along Williamsburg Road, Interstate 64, also Highway 249 running from Quinton to Tallysville and over toward New Kent. That is an area that's getting hit very hard with rainfall right now. And then Highway 360 and then 360 and 30, Central Garage. Super heavy rainfall right now. And that Highway 30 running all the way down to West Point. Then you got 14 running all the way across 33 down toward Gloucester. Tremendous amount of rainfall there. And then 17, Jamaica to Saluda to Gloucester. All these highways, they are no-goes. Just stay off those roads right now. There's just too much rain. The visibility is low. There's ponding out there. There's flash flooding that'll likely be occurring in these areas soon. They are not under flash flood warning at this time, but I would expect there's going to be flash flood warnings coming out for these areas here very shortly as the rain just continues to fall. And really, there's just nowhere for it to go after having rounds of rain yesterday and this morning, ground saturated, nowhere for anything to go. Is there an update yet on power outages just for the Richmond Tri-Cities area?
Yes, 13,000.
13,000 Richmond Tri-Cities area. So that number climbing, not exponentially or anything, but it was 10,000, now it's up to 13,000. So the number of Richmond power outages climbing a little bit. We'll get a little push of wind here over the next couple of hours, and that will cause those power outages to come up a good bit more here in the Richmond area. But 13,000, we can handle that. It won't stay there, but that's not too terrible. All right, so we have rain coming in, a little band of some heavier rainfall now. This is going to be right here in town. So this is looking at Bryan Park down to Westover Hills, out toward Bon Air, and then farther south down Iron Bridge Road. So again, we're looking at Midlothian Turnpike out of town here, right out of downtown Richmond, as well as Hull Street, right out of downtown Richmond. Heavy rainfall here, so right in town, south side of Richmond, some heavy rainfall moving back in. Again, the heaviest rain is going to be along 295 just east of town, but this band of rain has just developed. Notice this is just out of nowhere. All of a sudden, we go from these green shadings to the yellows and oranges, so that's heavy rainfall that's just popped up. And let's go in a little bit closer. Let's just get a quick metro look here. And so we've got rainfall. Again, Bryan Park, this is going to be out Carytown area, out close to the University of Richmond, then farther south. So we're looking at the Chippenham Parkway right in here. and also 288 farther south. So that's a ton of rainfall. That's Midlothian Turnpike, the Powhite, and also Hull Street out of town. Very, very heavy rainfall in those areas, including Bon Air, now starting to work its way back to the south and west toward Brandermill and out toward Midlothian area as well. Halsley area going to be getting heavier rainfall as well. And once you look out toward the west end, lots of rainfall approaching University of Richmond area and eventually out toward Tuckahoe at around Patterson Avenue, Parham Road area. So this is all an area that's just expanding with heavier rainfall. And you can see that rain just kind of developing very quickly over the area, and more rain over to our east. Highland Springs down to Sandston. That's even heavier rainfall. Darbytown Road, Technology Boulevard. Again, all of this is out east. This is 295 here. So we're looking at Williamsburg Road, Charles City Road. Charles City Road just southeast of Verina is where it really starts to come down heavily there. And then same story just east of here, Williamsburg Road, all the way down to Roxbury. Tremendous amount of rainfall. This is Highway 55 that's right in here, that's running down to Providence Forge up toward New Kent. Lots of rainfall there. And so again, New Kent County, northern sections of Charles City County, lots of very heavy rainfall with these storms. Providence Forge area on up 155, lots of rainfall in that area. Colonial Downs getting hit with heavy rainfall at this time. So the flooding rains continue. Winds are beginning to pick up. Power outages are beginning to mount just a little bit. The one good thing that we do not have now that we had an hour ago are multiple tornado warnings. Tom, what am I seeing there? That's not a new warning here on Livewire, is it?
No, just flash flood warnings.
Okay, just flash flood warnings. And so that's actually the last warning that we had of any kind was a tornado warning, and that's been more than a half hour ago. So look at the current wind gusts, 39 miles per hour in Richmond, 45 miles per hour in Williamsburg, 53 miles per hour down in Norfolk. And again, all that around the center of circulation that is down pretty close to Emporia, probably just a little bit east of town right now, and moving to the northeast quickly at about 28 miles per hour. So again, Z-Isaias dumping the rainfall. It's produced several confirmed tornadoes. We do have damage, especially across southeast Virginia, down in Hampton Roads, some significant damage being reported down toward the Suffolk area, but also some confirmed reports of tornadoes out in the northern neck. So there are your confirmed tornadoes. We've got at least 3 of them in Virginia, and I think that we're probably going to end up with a couple more out here. So that's one in Governor's Land.